Howdy, Fort Bend. William Ferguson coming to you today from a very special place in Fort Bend County. I'm actually sitting at a Ling's restaurant. We're here for a special reason, unrelated to this interview. But when I realized I had Manisha Gandhi in the building, I knew we were going to have to sit down and talk. I'm so thankful you're here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
This is so exciting that you want to take the time. So, folks, you know that I have been really good to you, and I have brought interview after interview after interview to help you make your decision. And Manisha, I got to tell you, one of the things that has always concerned me, my wife has been a school teacher for 24 years, and I see a system that is broken, an education system broken. It is chewing up educators. It is chewing up children. And my concern is the future of these children. And what is it ultimately going to do after COVID and everything we lived through? I'm just sitting here going, wow. So I've heard about you. And guys, I've always said this, these are not endorsements, but you ready for this? I think you're going to be able to make your mind up. It's getting easier and easier. I hope you guys know that, because it is for me. So Manisha, why you? Why are you running for position 2?
It's a good question. So just a little bit of background about me. I grew up here in Houston, went to public schools in Spring Branch ISD when it was number 1 in Houston.
And you turned out great also.
And I have 2 children, 33 and 27, also went to public schools in Clear Creek ISD.
Really?
And I moved to Fort Bend 5 years ago. I've been a Sugarlander. Even though I didn't live here, I used to come often.
We'll give you a pass.
Yeah. So I'm passionate about education. I feel like education is the backbone for a brighter future for these kids. And, you know, even the parents need to feel confident that they're sending their kids to school where they're going to get the best education, best values, and having those kids turn out to be great citizens for the country and Fort Bend.
So I'm starting to get a feel for why you. So why now? Why 2024? Why haven't you done this before, or why are you waiting until later? Why 2024?
I've been a community servant for 30 plus years, 30 plus.
Yeah.
And I was very involved in my kids' schools as a, PTO, volunteering, chaperoning,
Sure.
Even going to cafeterias.
Yeah.
And so now they're grown. I have the time, I have the commitment, dedication to give back. I've already been giving back in various ways by serving several boards.
Yeah.
But now it's education.
Good for you. Yeah, so that makes sense as well. So again, and I'm sorry, I'm very passionate about education. I see, and I'm going to pick on Fort Bend ISD. Do you mind?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I read article after article that just makes my stomach hurt, because even though Fort Bend ISD is very diverse, they're graduating their high school at a rate of about 94%, even though, according to the reports that I posted just a few days ago, 26% of them are proficient in reading and 62% are proficient in mathematics. And I'm thinking, that's a disaster.
Why only 62%? Why only 26%?
How do we fix that when a system finds that acceptable? They're excited about their diversity while the children can't read and do math.
I think the basic education of literacy, math starts in elementary schools.
Sure.
I'm a firm believer that pre-kindergarten enrollment needs to go up, and then we need to have extra curriculum, extra tutoring in elementary schools. When you have your base and foundation of math, science, reading, writing that is strong, then they'll carry you to middle school curriculum and ultimately high school and preparing you for college.
So do you believe, and I think you're going to say yes to this, but do you believe that the right school board can even turn it around? Can you guys turn it? Can the right school board turn it around?
I think right school board, right superintendent, right leadership team together can turn it around.
Okay. Well,
I think it takes the administration, it takes superintendent to do their job, and managing the schools and staff and administration, where we come in as a governing body and working with them. or her.
I'll digress just a little more about it because I'm watching the chaos that is trying to be corrected in HISD by the state. And it's unfortunate it's come to that, actually. However, some of the solutions that they're bringing to HISD are actually working, even though some people are frustrated it's working. And so as I look at Fort Bend ISD, I believe, based on the numbers, I believe Fort Bend ISD is not far from what HISD is going through right now. What are your thoughts on that?
I do think that we're doing some things very well. We have, the budget is like $800 million, and we are an A rating by the state and, rating agencies
Sure.
at A. But the performance of kids
Yes.
is
Yes.
getting lower and lower.
Yes.
Some schools have gone from A to B, B to C. So I'm going to go back to the education aspect to it. And we need to have great teachers. We need to have incentives for teachers, competitive pay, help them help our students. And we need to listen to them, listen to the principals, listen to the teachers and parents to make sure the outcome, student outcome needs to be.
Oh, look, I'm not trying to pick on her, but there's one of our state education board members. I remember 3 years ago, I was talking to her. I think I was at City Hall. And I looked at her and I said, are you more concerned about educational outcome or social outcomes? She looked at me and she said, never thought about that before. Well, let me just tell you, whether a kid can throw a football or a baseball or do arts and theater and all that, I'll be candid with you. I don't care.
It's education.
It has to be education outcomes. So I'm hearing that in you.
Yes.
Because if our children cannot assimilate in the form of education, what is the private sector going to do with them as employees? Or they're not even able to read and write. They can't do math. They can't make change. They can't. And so I'm a little worried about the priority of social outcomes over what I call education outcomes.
And I'm a firm believer in education outcomes. And again, going back to STEM, going back to extra help to the students that need to bring their performance up, after school tutoring, weekend tutoring, and great teachers. I mean, it comes down to teachers.
Good. Oh, and so I'll say this. So I believe that the two major factors in a child's education, I could be wrong. You're running for board, so you can tell me.
Parents,
but I believe the
teachers.
first or most important is a family, is the structure of, I call safety education around the child. This daily interaction with mom, dad, whomever, right? And if that is not healthy and is not educational, I believe it sets a child back. It makes it more difficult. It doesn't mean they can't achieve, but it makes it more difficult. But the dilemma is for the school system really has no controls there, okay? So I'm going to commend the parents, those of you out there that take serious your responsibility to raise up and educate your child. And you even say, well, you think you can do it better. Well, how about this? Do it as the best you can, and then allow the system, which hopefully you're going to be able to perfect, allow the system to pick up where they might not be able to fulfill. The second piece is simply the education piece. And we don't have to get into it, but whether or not they end up getting vouchers and all this later on, I think the public school system has to be fixed with a priority for education outcomes. And it sounds like you're on board for that.
Absolutely.
Super.
It's a partnership.
Okay,
Parents,
so
teachers,
how does
students.
someone that absolutely loves your campaign, how do they help you? Do you need money? Do you need volunteers? What do you need? I wish you would just tell them and let them.
All right, so we're, early voting started yesterday. So early voting is till April 30th and election day is May 4th. So I definitely need your votes and definitely need the financial support because, me being in front of you costs money and signs and marketing and just getting the word out and to let you all know who I am. It all costs money. So money, volunteership, and your votes is what I need. My website is Gandhi, 4, FBISD.com. That's Gandhi 4 FBISD.com.
So she's running for position 2. Don't forget that.
Yes.
And there's only
position
2 and 6. Don't forget whoever.
Yes.
So
anyone in Fort Bend ISD can vote, though. If
Yes.
you're living in a 6th zone, you can still vote for position 2.
So I want to add this. So there are good candidates for position 2 and 6. And you may say, you know what? Manisha's not my lady. She's not my board member. Well, here's what I'm begging you. I'm begging you to become an educated voter and get involved. If for some reason, and you can't reconcile that with her, which I can't imagine what it could be, but feel free to reach out to her. If she's not the one, I'm telling you, please, I'm begging you, for the kids' sake, vote. Be an educated voter. I love you guys. You heard what she needs. Make it happen. And as I always say, howdy Fort Bend, and I will see you again. Bye, y'all.
Thank you.